Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Here we go. It's time for DIETZ's Top 15 presented by BetUS.com. And at 15, we start with the Boise State Broncos.
They're hanging out at the bottom, and like I say every week, they're basically there. They have to win them all to get anywhere they want to go, but they cannot afford to lose a game.
They cannot. At 14, we got the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Alabama, good comeback win, bounce back win. So they're still alive.
At 13, we got the Indiana Hoosiers.
Hoosiers continuing their game, but again, going back to everything. Yes, they're undefeated, but they haven't gotten to the meat of their Big Ten schedule yet. So I still want to see what they can do against big time teams.
Our next team has a big one coming up this weekend. That's the Clemson Tigers.
Clemson Tigers staying strong, and it's going to be tough for Clemson to really do anything until the ACC championship game.
At 11, we have the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yep, same thing with Iowa State. They're right there, but they cannot afford to lose a game.
To the top 10 we go. We have the BYU Cougars at 10.
And it's same thing. Big 12. They just have to get the Big 12 needs both those teams to get through undefeated. Mm-hmm. That's what they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need the top two teams to get undefeated and get to Dallas for the Big 12 championship. At 9, we go to Columbus, and we have the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ohio State does not have – they've played great this season, but they do not have a signature win. They get that chance this weekend.
All right, that's when they face Penn State. At number 8, we have the Texas Longhorns.
Yep, and the same thing with Texas. They've played great all year. They do not have a signature win. Their best win is against Oklahoma. Yeah,
and that came in Dallas. Number 7, we have the Texas A&M Aggies.
The Aggies, great performance this weekend. That bumps them up. It also bumps another team up, which I'll talk about later. But Texas A&M is primed and ready right now. They're in the driver's seat to make the SEC championship game.
At number 6, we have the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep, still undefeated, but they have the same problem Clemson has. They're in the ACC.
Yeah, and they also something you mentioned about a signature win. That'll take the ACC championship for that to happen. To the top 5 we go. We start at 5 with the Penn State Nittany Lions.
And again, we talk about signature wins. They don't have any. Their best win is against USC. The only reason they're here is they're undefeated, and they've played very well. Now let's see them play against a big-time team, and they get them at home. They can't afford to lose this game.
They cannot. It's going to be a whiteout. It'd be at Happy Valley. At number 4, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee, and nobody was happier to see Alabama beat Missouri than the Tennessee Volunteers because they got that win. That Alabama is their signature win. They need Alabama to be as good as possible.
Speaking of signature wins, at number 3, we have the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Yeah, big win over Navy. It was a big-time game. Everybody was watching to see what Notre Dame would do, and Notre Dame did not disappoint. They blew Navy out of the water and did not lay off. And then at night, they get that Texas A&M win, which the Irish have a win at College Station.
Yep.
And this is a Texas-Alabama situation from last year. When Alabama won in the SEC championship game, that helped Texas the most.
It did.
Because once Alabama was in, they knew they had to put Alabama in. But then they looked at it and said, wait, Texas beat them. We have to put Texas in as well. So that's where Notre Dame is going to ride that A&M game until it doesn't help them anymore.
At number 2, we have the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, the Ducks, and again, their signature win is Ohio State, and then their schedule drops off. The next one's Illinois, and that's just not gonna cut it to get you into the top spot when we're talking about signature wins.
Speaking of signature, our number one team for the second straight week is the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, again, signature wins. Texas, they were already on the list, and Clemson, who's already on the list. So that's where Georgia separates themselves from the rest of this list.
That's the top 15. DIETZ's top 15 presented by BetUS.com. Now we look at the biggest winners and losers. We'll start with the biggest winner. That's the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Well, I talked about it. Not only does Notre Dame get a win for themselves, but Texas A&M winning just promotes them even more, and that's where they gained over anybody else. Is that not only did they get a win, their best opponent got a win, and it's just going to help them keep going as we watch them play.
And this will make Droid happy. The biggest loser, the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, well, their season's over. I mean, I looked at it. They have a 0.8% chance to make the playoff.
All right, that's our biggest winners and losers. That's presented by SeatGeek. And now, DIETZ's games to watch, presented by America's Best. 2 glasses, $69.99. Visit your local America's Best for more details. Let's start in Happy Valley.
Why would I be happy that Mizzou's the biggest loser? Lennon's one of my best buds. I can't hate Mizzou.
Yeah, but you did when they played Vanderbilt.
Shut up.
Meanwhile, carrying on, let's talk about...
Yes, Ohio State, Penn State in the whiteout at Happy Valley. That's a noon kickoff. That's the first game to watch from DIETZ.
Both teams need this game. Probably Ohio State more, because they already have that loss against Oregon, but for both these teams, they need this game. But we talked about this before the season. James Franklin needs a signature win.
Mm-hmm.
Minus the Saquon Barkley season, he does not have a signature win against any good team.
No, he doesn't. The next one is the middle game. That's Oregon, top-rated Oregon, and Michigan. That's a 3:30 kick.
No, we've seen Oregon again. Oregon, Ohio State. We harped on it that week. Oregon did not win the game. Ohio State lost it. Yep. They went out and crushed Illinois. Both those games were in Autzen Stadium. Mm-hmm. Now they're on the road. Let's see if Oregon can bring it on the road in a big game.
And an ACC match to close out DIETZ's biggest games to watch is this one. The Louisville Cardinals and the Clemson Tigers. That's a 7:30 kickoff in Death Valley.
Yeah, like we said when we were doing the Clemson does not have a signature win. We saw what Miami did to Louisville. Mm-hmm. Clemson needs to match that to make the ACC viable. So if you're an ACC fan, you need Clemson to win this game.
Right. Those are DIETZ's games to watch, presented by America's